Coach Donald, thank you for joining me today. Coach Donald is currently the wide receiver coach at Georgia Southern University. Coach, if you don't mind, just kind of giving a quick background about yourself so people can understand how you kind of got to where you are today.
Okay. I played college football at West Texas A&M. I played there for 4 years. From there, I never thought I wanted to get into coaching. So I went and worked as a financial advisor at the bank for a little bit. And a buddy of mine, a teammate from West Texas, Ethan Morris, gave me a call and asked if I wanted to come GA at Harding University in 2017. It was my first coaching gig. Went down there, coached receivers. Had a really good year. Then that following spring of 2018, GA position at Georgia Southern opened up. Coach Kenny Wheaton, who was the offensive coordinator at Harding, had a connection with Coach Bob DeBest, our offensive coordinator here at Georgia Southern. They kind of hooked up, and um, they offered me the grad assistant job here with the receivers. Coach Lunsford and Coach DeBest offered it to me. I took it. Got to Georgia Southern July 2018. Did 2 years, and then last season we had our receiver coach resign, and Coach Lunsford, offered me the interim job, named me the interim throughout the bowl game. I guess I did a good job because ended up getting, offered the job full time. I've been at Georgia Southern since 2018. This is going on my third season, and I love it here. And wouldn't want to be any other place.
Now, did GA and at Harding make it an easy transition for you? I mean, both offenses are very run-oriented, option-oriented offenses. Obviously, your guys is more out of the gun, but did that make that transition easier in your opinion?
I think it definitely helped. At Harding we're more traditional flex bone, under center, triple option. Here at Georgia Southern more out of the gun and pistol. But scheme wise, a lot of the schemes are the same, kind of related when you talk option football. But yeah, I think it definitely made that transition easier for sure.
Now, kind of talking about option football. Obviously, you guys don't necessarily throw as much as the air raid offenses and some of those other offenses. And how does that cause it to adjust for you guys um, in terms of practice for receivers? And at the
Uh,
same time, kind of piggybacking off that, do you think for teams that run the option, whether it be gun or under center, do you think people kind of ignore coaching up the receivers in those offenses?
it's different. Honestly, I like to say, you're going to play receiver in our offense here at Georgia Southern. You got to be a special type of person. But if you were to come watch us practice, a lot of people are surprised at how much we do throw the ball in practice. Because we have to be, we're going to run the football. We got to be really good at running the football. But then, we understand as coaches here that, we have to kind of diversify our game. We still have to, throw the ball around when you get in a situation like a 2-minute situation, those type of things. From an outsider looking in, it won't look like we do throw the ball that much during games. When you go back and you look at the stats from the game, you look up, we've thrown the ball 25, 30 times. So when it comes to playing receiver in this offense, I like to think of the guys as more athletes instead of position receivers. Just because they're asked to do so much. You can be going, you can be an outside receiver, you can be going in motion, catching a pitch, or our slot receivers who go in, motion, catch pitches, that type of deal. But I like, my guys, they are wide receivers, and they have to be just as good as a receiver in a spread offense, to help our team win. I will say that in this offense, you get a lot of opportunities for big plays, shot plays, which makes our offense more explosive, especially being a run first type offense. You get a lot of crowded boxes, you get a lot of safeties down. So on the outside, you get a lot of one-on-one matchups. Which as a receiver, I don't know what else you could ask for, than a one-on-one matchup. And then you get into the situation where okay, we do throw a quick game or we throw a hitch, or you make one guy miss, you got a chance to go to the house. So there are a lot of benefits to running this offense when it comes to playing receiver.
Now, kind of continuing off that, you mentioned one-on-one matchups. I mean, we talked earlier in the spring about receiver play, kind of in a small group setting. You guys get a lot more free access releases than probably a lot of the country does. Part of that is because of the style of offense you guys run. How do you teach that in practice? Like, what is your focus? What is your talking points to your receivers when they get a lot of that free access?
So the biggest thing I always tell my receivers, I think, this is kind of universal, is that, due to, we get a lot of off coverage. So the biggest thing when it comes to whatever you're doing is how you come off the football. Okay. You want to stress that DB vertical. Okay. You want to push vertical, sell the vertical. And that'll make your life easier when it comes to running routes and when it comes to having the stalk block for the run as well. So get that vertical push, come off like every play of the pass, like you're running around, make everything look the same. Run pass, make it all look the same. So that's the biggest thing that I tell my guys, is close that distance, okay? Because a lot of times what you'll end up getting is, you'll come off the ball hard, and then the DB will be there, and there'll be a run, and you'll get a good stop, But if you come off the ball lazy, the DB's not buying it, okay? And then they can help out in the run game. So a lot of times, so sometimes you get corners with dirty eyes, and just coming off hard, and selling that vertical helps set up that play action game. Okay, our guys will come off to the sideline and say, "Hey, coach, he's not really belly. He's kind of playing that catch technique, off coverage, and that'll give us, I'll relay that to the coordinator, and boom, that means now we got to take a shot down the field."
Awesome, coach. I kind of want to get a little bit more in practice. From a practice standpoint, what is your typical progression throughout the week? I mean, me and you've talked drills before, but how much? What does your progression throughout the week look like? Is it a lot more focused on what you're doing this week? Is it fixing mistakes from last week? And then what set drills are your like everyday musts?
Okay. So the way you go into practice, so Monday we'll begin the initial game plan type deal. Okay. So Tuesday's practices are usually more so our initial thoughts. Okay, this is kind of what we think we're gonna get. This is what we have in the game plan so far. Okay, and as we go throughout the week, you'll see a lot of that get cut out. We'll just take things out. Okay, no, we didn't like that. Our guys aren't getting that, so take it out. Or it'll be, hey, our guys are really good at that. Okay, that adjustment for this week. So we need to just hammer that home. So we'll go hard Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday is kind of a tune-up type day, and Friday, it's, if you don't have it by Friday, you probably ain't gonna have it. But when you talk about everyday drills for my guys, stance and start, we'll do that every day. Stance and start. Just because I believe that's just something that is essential when it comes to playing receiver. Okay, you got to have a good stance. You got to be able to come off the ball, like I said earlier. Not only to threaten that DB, but to also help yourself out in the run game as well. Other drills we do, releases. We'll work releases every day, just because you never know when you might get that threat of press coverage. And a lot of times when we get in the red zone, you'll get a lot of press coverage down there. And then we got a lot of different mobility, agility type drills. We'll do the cone drills and whatnot. But the biggest thing I think for my guys is, getting on the jug machine. Okay. So we'll have a position meeting, and I tend to let those guys go, 10 to 15 minutes early out that position meeting so we can get them out there and then get some catches. I think catching a football is all about muscle memory. So the more footballs you catch, the easier it'll be. We have a lot of auxiliary drills that we'll do from time to time. Sundays we'll come in, we'll watch the film, and my assistant receiver coach, Coach Walker, we'll go through and we'll look at it and say, man, we gotta get better on that with our guys, or our guys need to get better on this. And we'll go through, and then the way we'll organize our drills in practice is sort of based on, what we feel like we need to improve on as a unit. And I have a sheet with all the drills. Okay, so as we go throughout the week, hey, this might be Tuesday. Well, let's hit this drill, this drill, this drill. Okay, and we'll mark it off. And then when Wednesday comes, you do the same thing. So by the time you get to like the end of the week, you can kind of look and be like, okay, well, we did this drill, these type of drills this many times. We'll just go from there. But every day, me and Coach Walker will get together, before practice, and I'll ask him, be like, hey, what do you think we need to work on for today? And then another thing we do is, some days I'll lead the drill some days, or some days I'll be like, hey, Coach Walker, you got him. Just so our guys are hearing, different voices, just, what I'm saying, switching things up so that they don't get stuck in a rut, what I'm saying? They don't do the same thing every single day. And that's something that I feel like is very vital here. Yeah, every day we're going to hit the basic and the fundamentals of football, like the stance and start, sitting down, having a good base when you get in stall blocking. But when it comes to the auxiliary drills, we'll switch those up every now and then just to keep the guys fresh and keep them doing something new.
Awesome, Coach. Kind of going into like game planning and scouting. What is your typical role in that? I mean, obviously your offense is a little different, and also, I mean, it varies by staff. But what is your responsibility? What is your focus? What are you typically looking for in your opponents?
So when we obviously, run the option offense, when you go into, watch video, it can be a little tough, just because, you're not seeing, it's not every day you're going to see some film where they're playing an option, team. So my responsibilities is the secondary. Okay. I'm looking for any, tips, any tendencies that I can find. And I will say, having, Coach Walker and, our GAs, Coach Camboui, they do a really good job, breaking down the film. They'll kind of already have that for us Sunday after we play. So I'm in there, I'm just looking, okay, are they a press team? What, do the safeties support heavy in the run game? Just those little different things when it comes to, giving us the best opportunity to be successful on Saturday. You'll look at corner play, do the corners like to come tackle, how do the corners, play the ball, in the air and that type of deal. Don't really get too heavily involved in stats and statistics because at the end of the day, you still got to come and play. Like to find out, how many guys do they rotate in the secondary? Do they rotate guys? Do they flip corners, field and boundary, or do they just play right and left with the corners? Any tendencies on, do they bring the corner fire, bring the corner off the edge, that type of deal. But at the end of the day, man, when it comes down to it with my guys, I like to tell them, it's about us. Okay, it's all about the work that we put in, that Sunday night when we practice, that Tuesday, that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, to go out there and perform on a Saturday. So that's kind of, my role is just, paying attention to the secondary, and offering, anything I think that we could have pass game wise. I communicate a lot with, Coach Best, our offensive coordinator, when it comes to different pass concepts that we have in our offense that I feel like will be successful and give us a good chance to win on Saturday.
Now, can I continue with that? Is how much do you guys have to prepare for the unknown? Like, how much time do you actually spend it? Because obviously, some of your teams you're going to play are just going to show you something completely different than you've seen all year, or even from the year before, just because of the offense you run. How much time do you spend practice and just game planning for the unknown?
It's crazy because like you said, we've had times where a team has been, let's say, an odd defense all year, and then they get into the game with us and they're 4 down, 4-man front. But throughout the week, we'll prepare for everything. We'll try to hit, a little bit of everything. One day we might go out and we might have, okay, here's our odd period. Okay, let's run everything we got against the odd. And then, we might have a period where, okay, now we're going to, have a 4-down period. Here's everything against the 4-down front. And then sprinkle a little bear and that type of stuff in there. But I think one of the biggest things that we do well as an offensive staff is, in-game adjustments is huge for us. Okay, and having everybody on staff, on the same page. Um, we have each coach, has, we talk about game day eyes here. Okay, like who's watching this person, who's watching this person, who's watching this, and I think that's something that is huge. When you talk about camaraderie on a staff and everybody trusting each other, it's definitely important in this offense, for sure, because you never know what you're going to get on game day. Okay, you never know. So especially like going in halftime. Okay, halftime adjustments is big for us, because we'll go in and we'll look at our call sheet and we'll say, okay, well, we like this against this, or hey, they're doing this. One of the greatest examples was 2018. We went out to play Arkansas State, um, and it was the last drive of the game. And Coach DeBest asked, well, actually, really, one of my jobs was to watch the backside defensive end. So I just remember going into halftime and saying, hey, coach, if you want to run a reverse, it's there. He's like, okay. So, the end of the game comes and he's like, what do y'all think about the reverse? And at this time we're thinking, okay, maybe let's run it to, get in field goal range. He had a really good field goal kicker. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, reverse. I'm like, okay. So everybody was quiet on the headset and, he made the call and we ended up scoring, win the game. But, going into a game, you never know what you're going to get. So those in-game adjustments and the communication between everyone on the offensive staff and those, halftime adjustments have, play a vital role in, what we do as an offense, because what we do is so unique and you don't see it everywhere.
Okay, coach. And then kind of one of my last questions is, what have you been focused on learning in this off season? What has been your kind of focal point, whether it be scheme wise, whether it be drill wise, off the field stuff? What has kind of been your focus?
So my focus, every off season, I always try to, find ways to learn more. And this off season, with getting hired full time, I was blessed to be able to, do a couple clinics for some high school coaches about our offense, which was really good for me, because if you learn the best when you teach it to other people. So I think that was really helpful. I watched, some clinics on receiver play, just trying to pick up, new things to do with my guys. I watched some clinics when it came to player development, how to develop players, because I think that plays a vital role when you talk about guys coming in as freshmen, leaving as seniors, is how do they progress throughout the years and the time that you have them, and getting the most out of your guys while you do have them. But eventually, long term for me, I want to be an offensive coordinator one day. So just kind of getting my thoughts and ideas together about, okay, how I would do things if I was an offensive coordinator, and just taking some of the things that I've learned here at Georgia Southern, and just using that type of thing. So this whole offseason has really been, one, trying to grow as a receivers coach, and two, just trying to grow overall. I've watched some defensive stuff, trying to learn defenses a little bit and get a better grasp on kind of what they're keying in on, and, how we've been defended here in this past season, and just ways that we can improve. So that really has been my whole focal point this off season, just finding different ways that we can improve as an offense, and little wrinkles, a little, different concepts, pass game wise, that I can bring to the staff to help make us more diverse as an offense. So that's been really my main focal point, is just one, growing as an overall coach, and then two, just increasing my knowledge when it comes to our offensive scheme, and then how defenses try to defend us coming this fall.
Going back to practice real quick, what areas do you guys focus on, situation wise? I mean, every school's a little different on what they're prioritize, and obviously you ideally want to practice every situation, but just from a time constraint point, you can't always. So what is your guys' kind of focus, especially with your offense?
So a lot of throughout the week, we'll hit third downs. Third downs are really big for us. Fourth and short, third and shorts. 2 minute and red zone offense. Obviously, everybody likes, the 60, 70-yard touchdowns. But in what we do, you have to be able to grind out games. Okay. We get a lot of third and short situations, fourth and short situations. So we put a lot of emphasis and focus on those. And just getting our guys able to understand and get that mentality of, hey, if it's a 3rd and 2 or if it's 4th and 2, like, we're going for it. Okay. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. But then 2 minute, we have a 2 minute and then a hurry up type pace for our offense. We put emphasis on that as well. Because when you think about it, we have to be good in 2 minute drill. Okay. Say we get down in the ball game. Well, we got to come out there and we got to go. And I will say, this offense, the past 2 years we've been here as a staff, we've been pretty good when it comes to, our 2 minute offense. So, you try to prepare for majority of the situations that you're going to see in a game, but, as a coach, we know that, come Saturday, you never know what's going to happen. So, obviously you can't hit every situation, but, we'll try to hit of them throughout the week. And our Friday practice is where we'll hit a lot of those situations, that we think we can get on Saturday.
Awesome, Coach. Coach, I appreciate your time today. I wish you guys nothing but luck this season. Whether you play full schedule or not, whether we play full schedule or not, however this weirdness turns out. I also wish you and your family nothing but safety and health. And again, thank you for everything, Coach, and I wish you a good rest of your day.
Thank you. I just want to say I appreciate you reaching out and taking the time to have me on. Like I said, we spoke earlier in the spring about receiver play. That's something that, anytime you want to talk, anytime, just reach out. My number is always open. You got my contact. Just reach out to me. I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.